Okay, guys, what's going on? Rob here with Aloha Android. Thanks for checking out this video. This is going to be my review of the LG Stylo 2. Now, there are some pluses and there are some negatives, and I'm going to touch base with both of them over this phone. But price-wise, this phone goes for $179.99, so $180 at release. You can get it at boostmobile.com, but I would definitely recommend you guys get it from Best Buy because if this phone does not meet your needs, then there's really not, long of a wait. You have 14 days to test the phone out, and then you can get an instant refund as long as you keep your receipt and keep everything that came in the package. You can take it back to your local Best Buy and get a refund or switch out for another device that they have if this one is not likable. But there shouldn't be too much of a problem with this device. So let's go ahead and take a look at the display. It's a 5.7-inch display. The resolution is 720 by 1280 at 258 pixels per inch. So not very impressive, but the screen is quite beautiful. I can tell you guys that. A lot better um, than some of the other phones that I have. So it's okay. It's just I wish it would have been a little bit more better. But one thing you don't have to worry about is because it doesn't have an app drawer. There's a way to get the app drawer. It was a recent update. I posted a video about it. So there is a home option with the app drawer, so you guys don't have to worry about that. Um, and then you can have basic, or you can just download a third-party launcher. So um, just nothing that's gonna really ruin the experience. So this is your notification drop down. You guys can see it's white themed with like a green color, not too bad. And here's where you edit basically your shortcuts in your notification dock. And that's, you can add more things to it. Also, it doesn't have NFC, but it does have this weird thing that's called file sharing, which is kind of like, I guess, like Wi Fi Direct, where you can share files between LG devices that have that feature. You can actually invert the color if you want to. So that kind of looks pretty cool. um, but everything will be affected by it. So like if you post pictures on Snapchat, your Snapchats are gonna look like negatives instead of like the actual photo. Um, but that's if you guys want to, do that. There's the option you guys can invert the color, make whites blacks, and yeah, I don't know. It'd be nice if like not everything was affected by it, but fortunately it is. So let's take it back to normal. I can tell you right now with this device, without it having an app drawer, it's kind of cool because I can group everything into folders, which is pretty much what I do anyways. And I don't have to like go into a secondary place to find more apps. Like all my apps are on the home screen. I know people think it's iOS or whatever, but hey, whatever, Um, a cool feature you can do since this is a phablet is you can bring it into like a one-handed mode just by swiping across your on-screen navigation buttons at the bottom. You can resize it, and it makes it great if you gotta do it one-handed for whatever reason. You can and you can adjust the size. So bring it back to normal. Just click the X and it goes back to the way it is. So we're gonna go into settings here real quick, and I'll show you guys how I did it. It's called Mini View. It's in your settings under General, and right underneath Accessibility, just above Shortcut Key, there's this thing called Mini View, and that's how you activate it. If you don't want to do it, you can just simply toggle it off, and then if you swipe across your navigation keys, it won't activate one hand mode or Mini View. So the next thing is a stylus. If you pop the stylus out, you feel a slight vibration, and these shortcuts pop up, and they're quite handy. I'll demo some things that you can do with them. But this is something that the original G Stylo lacked. But it's okay though. And I mean, it's not super fancy. It's not like a Galaxy Note. And I think that's one thing that I'm going to ask people to really toss out of their minds is don't compare this to a Galaxy Note. A Galaxy Note is far powerful than this, and is far feature packed than this. This is a mid-tier LG device. It's not a flagship device, so it's not going to have all those really um, high high features like put in. But nevertheless, using something like this to jot down notes, I mean, this was like originally what it was intended for. It was just to do things like this. So you guys can get this a quick little notepad just popped up, hovering over your screen. You can do it that way. You can do a capture where it will, capture what's on your screen, and you can jot down some notes, like it's kind of cool down. Have you guys noticed that the weather's been really cold lately? Like not cold, like freezing cold, but it's just like winter does not want to go away. It's even here in Phoenix where it should be like in the upper 90s, close to 100. We're like experiencing 75 as highs. So hey, anyways, so you got the ability to basically you can like take a photo using any one of your cameras, and so we'll take a photo right here, just a simple photo, real quick. And then what you can do is that you can actually crop out a portion of that photo. As you guys can see, those little dots there, you can just move it around. So let's crop out something here real quick, and I'll hit done, and it's going to crop that out. Then we're gonna click insert, and there it is. It's inserted on my memo pad, and then I can go ahead and just draw to it, write something underneath it. Um, you know, it's a demo. So, anyways, I mean, there's a lot of cool things you can do with this. That's it could be helpful. If you need to use any of these types of tools or whatever, you can. Um, so the next option over here is the actual full memo page opened up, blank canvas, and you can just write whatever you want to get. You can jot down a note. Um, so take some time to get used to writing with the stylus, and it has different tip modes that you can use if you want to, use like a paint style, marker style, pen style. It's just depending what you really want to use. So anyhow, the last option down over there is pretty much you can just add whatever app you want to. As you guys saw was Google Plus for me, but you can add, you can make it Instagram, you can make it Facebook, whatever you choose to. Um, so that's pretty cool with the stylus itself. Let's go back in settings real quick, and I'm going to show you guys the version of Android that it's running compared to the original G Stylo. Stylo 2 is actually running 6.0.1. It is using LG's UX UI 5. Now, some people don't really like the UX 5 because it doesn't have an app drawer, and it's pretty nice that LG did update it. But even before the update for considering putting back in an app drawer, you can use LG 4.0, well, the Home 4.0, which to me was kind of a disappointment because the UX 5.0 Home with an app drawer is pretty much 4.0. So there was not really much a big significant difference between the two. It's just, I guess like LG just realized that, hey, people are not going to like it without an app drawer. And so there. So onto the cameras here. The rear camera is a 13 megapixel camera, and I'm going to go ahead and take a video here in a second. I'm just trying to tap to focus. If you're used to using a laser focus, it's not a real big loss. I mean, it kind of is because some people are depending on laser focus for photoing to focus in on whatever you're going to shoot, but it fairly does a good job focusing in anyways without laser autofocus. So that's a plus because I was going to worry that was going to be a big impact. So focusing on photos was easy for me to do and get it done. Here's the picture that I just took. You guys can see it focused in pretty clearly. There's no fuzzy points. Pretty nice, and nothing that's high, like super high quality photo, but good enough for you to see exactly what you're looking at. As far as the video, you guys can see I'm moving it back and forth. It does not have image stabilization when you're taking a video, but it kind of fairly does okay. Um, let's flip the camera around and look at the front-facing camera here. This is the 5 megapixel front-facing shooter, and there I am in the shot. Um, I don't smile much for photos, but that's okay. So I'm gonna take a photo, and we'll also take a video. And now you'll notice here when you take a video, it kind of goes a little darker indoor when you start taking a video compared to what it captures if it's just a photo. And to me, that's kind of a bummer. Like, I don't like when cameras do that. And that's, a lot of smartphones that I have actually do that. And I just don't know why it does it that way. Like, it just looks bad. Like, you take a photo and it looks clearer than your video does. But here's the video, and you guys can see as it's moving. I mean, I'm holding it by hand. So, the shakiness of my hand is not really affected in the video. And there's the photo, and you guys can see how it's much clearer taking a photo than it is a video, and that's something that sucks. So, not too happy about that, but most smartphones do that anyways. I've bound to see a phone that actually does video and picture like in the same lighting. So, there is a couple of things about this device that I do want to mention out. That's kind of a slight bummer. But compared to the Stylo, I think um, that they shouldn't have taken out was the laser autofocus. I do feel that some people were benefiting off of that, taking photos, but also too, upgrading it to what it is. I mean, I'm grateful for the upgrade. 16 gigs of internal storage and 2 gigs of RAM. But I would have really liked them to have also added NFC, as the original G Stylo on Metro PCS has NFC, and that's probably like the only thing that the Metro PCS version of the G Stylo has going over the Stylo 2 is that it has NFC. While everything else pretty much matches up evenly as far as internal storage, the processing chip, the RAM, all that stuff pretty much matches up. So, but then again, this is not, just a Metro PCS version of the G Stylo and then given, a two at the end of it. It is actually not. The body build does count for something different because it is thinner. It is lighter than the original Stylo. The cameras are set off in different places. That's I pointed that out. And as you guys can see, it's much thinner. The one thing that I do miss that they also took away is like how the original G Stylo kind of have like a curved back, so it made for a comfortable hold in the hand, whereas the Stylo 2 is flat slab. So at times your hands will stress if you have small hands, it will stress. But I mean, if you buy a case for it, you should have no problems holding it whatsoever, as the case adds a little bulk to it. And it's a little round. As you guys can see, I'm showcasing the LG Stylo's camera because that's another thing that I frown upon is that the Stylo 2's camera is raised. Now, this, I don't understand why they did this, and this is something that I really, really am like disappointed in LG for raising that camera because if some people don't like putting a case on their phone, you got to worry about the camera getting scratched if you put it down. So that's a bummer. Also, the screen is also raised up from the phone itself, kind of like the ZTE Warp Elite. So you have to see on the original Stylo, it's like flushed into the body of the phone. On this one, the screen stands out. So it's just safe to say get a case for it if you don't want to crack the screen. But me personally, I think you should put a case on any phone so it stays looking brand new by the time you guys are done with it. Um, yeah. So I just wanted to point that out real quick. But anyhow, so we're gonna go take a look at the apps list because another thing that I do frown upon is the fact that for some reason you can't move apps to SD. I don't know why. I don't know if this is something that LG decided on. But I'm gonna go look for an app that should be able to move over to the SD card, and you can't do it. There's no option to do it on this phone, which is just so totally weird because Marshmallow supports SD cards. It almost makes me feel like that I'm in the Kit Kat days, where in Kit Kat they were trying to block it. So let's see. I know this app was able to move to the SD card, and it doesn't. Like when you click into storage, it doesn't give you the option to move. Now, I've looked high and low to find a spot where you actually move the app over to the SD card, and it's just not doing it. As you guys can see, there's no option to change internal to external. Like, what is going on here? I have a 32 gig SD card in this phone. I should be able to move some apps, if not, games and stuff like that, over to the SD card. Another thing that I frown upon about this is that no adaptive storage. Okay, like I will show you guys here in a minute. I'll go. I'm not gonna format my SD card, but I'm gonna, get like set it up to format without actually going through with it, and you guys will see that it does not give you an option to, format it as the internal storage. And I know this is a make or break point for some people because some people want to be able to use like their SD card as the internal storage, and you know what? It's just not happening here. I don't know why LG blocks it. Not very nice. Sorry about my notification. Not very nice, but it would be nice if they had opened up that feature for us to actually use adaptive storage. So those are some of the cons that I noticed about the phone. Another thing that may be a con is that some of you guys may be thinking like if you have the original G Stylo and you want to use the battery from that phone in this phone, they don't use the battery size of the phone is completely different. Even though they're both 3,000 milliamp hour batteries, the Stylo 2's battery is a lot wider and a lot taller. Well, not a lot taller, but just a lot wider than the original G Stylo's battery. So you can't use the G Stylo's battery in the Stylo 2. So therefore, if you want an extra battery, you're just going to have to order it from LG's website. Um, now, I mean, that's some of the the cons that I have, but all out in general, is the G Stylo, well, the Stylo 2 an upgrade from the G Stylo? Honestly, I really gotta say, yeah, because one of the things you do get with this is like I don't know if you guys ever heard of LG Smart World, but it's a nice application that allows you to basically personalize your phone a lot more than just getting wallpapers. I'm gonna let it update here in just a second, and then I'll show you guys around the Smart World. And this is the same app that's on the Tribute 5. So right here, you're greeted at the home screen. There's a ton of things you can do with this, and Smart World on LG is getting better and better. Um, Between this and Samsung, because I know Samsung you have themes too. Uh, I don't know. I was going to say like the vibe that I get from LG Smart World's themes is just a little. I don't want to say bland, but just a little more on the mature side. Which some people love going a little kiddyish with their themes and not always wanting that that over elegant type look. But that's what the Smart World offers. But I mean, they do have some themes that's actually quite kiddyish too. It's just I don't know. I think it's fairly new, so LG has some time. And plus people who create themes for these phones have some time to come out with some real banging, good-looking themes. But here's a wallpapers that you can get from there. I mean, you can get ringtones, you get everything, apps and all that stuff go through the smart world when it pertains to LG. So this is one of those things that if you used to root your Android device because you wanted to theme it, well, give it some time. There's going to be some good themes. They already have some good themes on here, but there'll be some more. And you can find them in the smart world. You won't even have to root your device since LG devices, their bootloaders are really being locked down. You don't want to mess up your device doing root and all kinds of stuff. That's just going to be headaches to get it back to stock or to upgrade in the future. But you can also find applications on here like this one right here is a music player that I'm looking at right now. And um, here's a brief look of how the screen looks when you're using the application. And so I mean, you do get some demos of like how the apps run, what they look like, descriptions of the applications, and so that's quite nice. So that is like one cool thing about it that I gotta say. The LG Smart World. Also, you know, it is a big enough upgrade compared to the original G Stylo. For us Boost Mobile users, I don't care too much about Metro PCS customers weighing in on that. It's the same as theirs. Like, who cares? Boost Mobile had the weaker version of the G Stylo, and it's quite nice that we were given this device already. That was to us is a much needed upgrade. We really needed this upgrade to experience a little bit better. Some people don't like LG devices, but that's okay. Fanboys choose what they want to choose, and they like what they want to like. But also, we like what we want to like. While this device didn't really wow me, and that's like some people may say like, oh wow, like that's bad. It's really not bad. It's just there's just some minor details that I didn't like about the construction build of the device, like the camera on the back. But that's nothing that really outweighs me to say stay away from this device. I definitely recommend saying giving this phone a shot, especially if you don't want to spend $230 on the Galaxy J7. And if it's not going down in price anytime soon, this is a great option that will give you the same things. I mean, both phones have 16 gigs of onboard storage. Both phones have 2 gigs of RAM. The only difference is that this phone is running the Snapdragon 410, and the J7 is running an octa-core processor. I believe it's Snapdragon 615. I'm not sure. Um, but other than that, 5.7-inch display, phablet size, so you can get your movies down good. The screen looks quite great. For it being 720p. You got a good amount of storage, even though some of the storage is already eaten up. But it's not eating up bad where it's like, downloading games and stuff like that. It's going to really hinder your experience with the device. And you have 2 gigs of RAM, which is really, pushing along. So with all that, you get it for 179.99 and possibly, some more deals coming up in the future, depending on Boost Mobile, summer sales and things like that. Um, a new question that, that I will answer is that, if I lost this phone today, would I replace it? And to be honest with you guys, yes, I would. I would replace this device. I've had a pretty good experience with it. Just some minor flaws that I don't like, but nothing that really says, "Hey, I don't like this phone and want to chunk it." Um, so yeah, that's my review of the LG Stylo 2. Hopefully, I covered up enough for you guys to make your decisions whether you guys want to check this phone out or not. Remember, Best Buy, you guys can get it and return it within 14 days. So that's it for this video. If you guys enjoyed it, you guys can let me know by leaving me that thumbs up. If you have not subscribed, please do so. Click that subscribe button. It's well, I can't point it out right now, but anyways,